Now, as you reposition Snapdeal, who's the customer today?
There is a 200 million, 300 million customer pool which also wants quality products but wants them affordably.
If I talk about tier 2, tier 3 markets, have you seen any changes in consumer behavior compared to 10 years back and what it is today in 2026?
The sheer access to social media has changed the baseline aspiration of the consumer.
Tell us more around your plans on the marketing bit.
People also love to see the people behind the platform.
What are the similarities and differences between India and Singapore?
The biggest similarity I found, which I didn't anticipate, was
Hi Achint, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you, Swati. Glad to be here.
Same. Glad to be here and very excited to be talking about Snapdeal and learning about what your plans are for the future and getting Snapdeal to the forefront. Let me start with your journey first before we talk about Snapdeal, right? You worked across companies, right? Myntra, Zalora, now Snapdeal. Walk us through your journey of how did you decide, one, that you want to be in e-commerce, and then secondly, what convinced you to take on Snapdeal?
Well, if I have to describe myself and my journey in a sentence, I'm a product developer turned a business consultant, turned a media strategist, turned a consumer marketeer to my current role at Snapdeal as a CEO. I started my journey with Microsoft. I used to code for Windows operating system, and that's when I got the first-hand experience of building tech products for large audiences. I was quite fascinated, but I was more fascinated by the business side of it than the technical side of it. So I decided to move on and post my MBA, joined McKinsey as a consultant. That is where I think my journey really started on the business front, and the core training on picking up any business problem and solving it structurally. And I was very fortunate to work in various sectors. I think around 18, 19 sectors I worked in. So I never called myself an expert at something, which was something I was looking for. Till the time this opportunity at Viacom 18 landed for me, where I looked after their strategy and business development at a stage where company had just grown from the success of Colors in 2007 to 2010 period. And they were looking to sort of take the company to the next level of growth and maturity. It was also the time when the digital ecosystem had just started to evolve, right? So in 2013, 14, we had started to talk about OTT in the country.
Yeah.
Now it feels like it is the status quo.
Yeah.
But we were among the first few who started experimenting with it. We set up our OTT business as Woot. That was something I was involved in incubating.
Sure.
And that is when I learned about, as a media strategist, about truly how consumers think in India, in larger masses. That was very fascinating for me, and I was very clear, right? I mean, I was passionate about technology. I really started to get a first-hand feel of the consumers, and I wanted to bring the both together. And e-commerce somehow became that ideal hunting ground for me. That is when Myntra opportunity happened for me, and I moved into a pure play consumer marketing role at Myntra, where both digital technology and consumer thinking at scale helped me experiment a lot of new things. It was also a period when creator-led commerce, content-led marketing and engagement was just on the rise.
Correct.
COVID had set in a couple of years after I joined. So I think a lot of experiments happened there. And that is when I truly got to do digital marketing and consumer marketing at scale. I think that experience I took to my next role at Zalora in Singapore. Now, the interesting part about Southeast Asian market is there are a lot of similarities with the Indian market, yet many differences. So being able to appreciate how business operates in a very different context, while the core values of consumers may be similar, and because I was very passionate about finding what consumers want, I always wanted to go deep and find common patterns which I could apply. That learning, I think, in a way gave me a very different perspective of working with diversity in a very different environment.
But tell us more. Tell us about the I'm sure half of them are Indian, so similarities. But what are the similarities and differences between India and Singapore?
It wasn't just Singapore. It was 6 markets of Southeast Asia, in fact. including Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Taiwan. And the biggest similarity I found, which I didn't anticipate, was the value conscious mindset when it comes to shopping.
Okay.
You would assume some of these markets are extremely developed and luxury focused, which is true. But there is a large audience pool which is extremely value conscious, very similar middle class values as the Indians have been having for generations.
Yeah.
Which is also why the success of the likes of Taobao, Shein, Temu is so evident in these markets. TikTok came and just disrupted the market, right? Because of the low cost. So that was a similar piece. And that's when I first got introduced to value commerce at scale in that market, which I'll then talk about why Snapdeal later. The things that are very different is, of course, the one is diversity is very different there versus diversity in India in terms of order of magnitude. But then the other things which we are very fortunate to have in India is the digital infrastructure and the logistics infrastructure that has, in a way, scaled to a very different maturity than it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right?
Correct.
So it's very hard to assume in Southeast Asian market, for example, people being able to do digital transactions on a click of a button on mobile phone in every part of the Southeast Asia. Similarly, it is so segmented in terms of the number of islands that logistics is a pain there beyond the main metros.
Yeah.
But I think with third-party logistics in India, having scaled significantly in the last few years, it has also given opportunity for e-commerce players like us to build asset-light models and not build logistics from scratch.
Because it already exists.
Exactly, right? So I think both these things are stark differences, I would say. Of course, India is a much larger market and there are economies of scale which are hard to deploy in some of these smaller ones. But the value conscious behavior was something which was very exciting as a common factor.
Got it. Now let's move to Snapdeal.
Yes.
Right. I remember that Snapdeal in the early e-commerce days, Snapdeal was, as you said, value conscious customer, was probably targeting the value conscious customer, right? Now, as you reposition Snapdeal, who's the customer today? How are you going to position it? What's the plan?
Yeah. So Snapdeal has always been serving Indians at scale. In a way, it started with sort of a horizontal e-commerce platform serving all categories for all possible customer cohorts.
Yeah.
I think over time, through multiple learnings and pivots, we realized that value creation sustainably doesn't happen trying to solve everything for everyone.
Okay.
Also, India as a market provides ample opportunities to fill up a lot of white spaces. And white spaces keep emerging. So you don't need to always be the one in all platform as a consumer need platform. And what we realized is there is a large pool of customers in India. A few years ago, we realized this, that who have always been disserviced in a way by the existing ecosystem. The existing ecosystems, when it comes to digital ecosystems, were after the mass premium urban affluent customers.
Yeah.
The 50 million set, which has grown to 80 to 100 million. Most businesses in digital e-commerce have been built around them.
Yeah.
But then there is a 200 million, 300 million customer pool outside this space, which is also aspirational, which also wants quality products, but wants them affordably, is also seeking trends, but they are, not in the consideration set of the businesses, right? So they get the leftover assortment, the leftover marketing, and the leftover attention.
Correct.
So that to us was a big white space, which will also grow significantly in the next 5 years.
And where is this customer set located?
This customer is actually across the country. I think with the kind of migration we have seen in the urban towns because of the gig economy, you could have easily said this is largely a tier 2, tier 3 phenomenon. But now I think it is spread. Even though just because of the sheer set of numbers, the smaller towns will have a large number of these customers. So for example, 80% plus of our business is coming from outside metros, which is just because there are so many of these towns. But this is a mindset of the customer and not really a geography. And this value savvy customer or a value conscious customer seeks for three things. They seek for affordability. They seek for reliability. And in the segment we serve, they seek for fashionability.
Okay.
right? And that I think is a
Yeah.
set which we thought was underserved, and there is a tremendous opportunity to go after this space.
And have you seen any changes in these, especially tier two, tier three markets, if I talk about, compared to what they were 10 years back, the consumer behavior, and what it is today in 2026?
Multiple shifts have happened. I think I spoke about the digital maturity
Yeah.
of the consumers, the smartphone penetration, and within that, the app penetration and comfort with using online devices and payments online. I think that's the one fundamental shift which we all know of.
Correct.
But from a behavior standpoint, what has shifted is just the sheer access to social media has changed the baseline aspiration of the consumer. Now they are very well aware of what is happening in Korea, what is happening in the US, what's happening in Met Gala, what's happening in FIFA, right? They know everything, right? You could go to the tier 4, tier 5 town and talk to an average consumer, they would have a sense.
Yeah.
And they know that these things are actually in trend, they have a sense. They also want to have access to those things, but they don't know where to find it. Even if they know where to find it, they don't know whether it is reliable or not. And if it is reliable and it's a popular destination, whether it is affordable or not.
Yeah.
Right? So I think this combination of giving them the best of the trends, but at the value price point, is something that we are trying to solve for.
Fair.
And if you break this market, I think in three large parts. At the upper end of the spectrum, which we call when I'm talking about fashion in particular, to give an example, like above 800 to 1000 rupee price points is a mass premium market, which is a branded market.
Yeah.
Which is where the likes of Myntra, Jio, I think, operate.
Correct.
That market has been growing for the last 10 years continuously and will continue to grow. I think there is a bottom end of the spectrum, which is sub 250, 300 price points,
Yeah.
which you call as the ultra low price point, price conscious market, right? The
Correct.
only question customer is asking there is, give me this t-shirt or this jeans at the lowest possible price point.
Correct.
They are not looking for what is the quality or trendiness or the repeat value of this, right? I want this at the current lowest price. There is a large market in the middle, which is the 300 to 800 sort of a price point, where customer wants to pay extra, they can afford to pay a little extra, but they also want quality,
Yeah.
they also want fashionability, they want trendiness.
Correct.
In an offline world, this is a market that Zudio exploded.
I was about to say that. I'm like,
Right.
this is the Zudio.
Right? This is the market that
Correct.
you still
Absolutely.
had a Vishal, very successful business, V2, very
Correct.
successful business, DMart, very successful.
Yeah.
And then you had the departmental stores, very successful, right?
Correct.
But there was an opportunity that is there.
Correct.
In the online world, that is the opportunity Snapdeal is trying to
Okay.
fulfill. Yeah.
Understood. And then who do you see are the competitors who already have that? Because there are value conscious e-commerce players as well,
Yes.
right? And how
I
are
think
you
a
different
lot of
from
players
them?
are serving that in one way or the other. What we believe is when we serve it in a focused manners, you are able to distinguish and distinctively provide that proposition because your platform policies, your seller policies, your customer policies, your customer value propositions get fine-tuned.
Yeah.
Because in a vertical business, right? When I say vertical business, I mean when you're serving a few categories.
Correct.
And 90% of our business is fashion and lifestyle, right? It is very important that it's not about endless number of sellers and endless assortment.
Yeah.
It is about curation, very, very sharp curation and strong personalization.
Okay.
And I think both have to go hand in hand. Why curation is important is in a branded world,
Yeah.
the customer trusts the brand.
Yeah.
They will buy a Nike or an Adidas or an H&M and they say, even if I buy it from XYZ platform, I'm trusting the brand. In a value world, the platform is the brand. So you have to build that trust by ensuring there is quality. That's what we do as Snapdeal, right? So we have a very rigorous quality and adherence process. While we are not manufacturing anything ourselves,
Yeah.
because we are a marketplace platform, we control how much a seller, once they're onboarded, are able to sell. In their early days, till we see there is proof of quality and serviceability by the seller. Then we grow them and make them visible to more customers. Once they have become scaled, then basis customer feedback and ratings,
Yeah.
we have a very high bar. And if a seller is beating that bar very well and good, the moment they fall below the bar, we disable them. And this is something our sellers also very well aware of.
Fair.
So the same seller could be selling on 10 platforms, but they know that if I have to sell on Snapdeal, in
Have
this
to do
price
these
point,
things.
I'll keep my quality at a certain level.
Yeah. Great. Now, obviously, you're an expert in consumer marketing. You come from media as well. We've seen campaigns like Nazar Atak Jai, and more recently as well, there are campaigns. Tell us more around your plans on the marketing bit and positioning Snapdeal in the right way in front of the consumers.
Sure. So I think when we stepped back and discussed on what proposition we are trying to serve for this consumer, one of the first questions through our customer immersions that came out is we have to first establish with the customer that you can get great style at great value,
Okay.
right? And when you come across something like this, it creates a bit of a shock value.
Yeah.
कि इतने में भी मिल सकता है,
Correct.
right? Otherwise, you always associate great trends with being
Expensive,
expensive.
yeah.
Right? And that, I think, was the crux of the Nazar Atak Jai campaign. That campaign actually got a lot of conversations going that there is value in selling trends at value price points. There is also acceptance that customers are aspirational and they don't want to settle for only the price
Yeah.
as a clear value prop.
Yeah.
And as we sort of saw the market evolve, the customers evolve, this year we launched something far more, I would say, nuanced, but more holistic, which is to say, today customer is adjusting on a lot of things, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you would adjust on taking something, making a call on, I don't want to buy this because it's expensive, so I'll first
Yeah.
collect my funds and buy it later. Or if I buy this, it may not last more than 2 washes.
Correct.
So, maybe I'll settle for that and I'll buy it again. Or I buy this, but I don't know whether it will be latest in demand. What will my friends say? What will people in my social circle say?
yeah.
So I take that risk. So you are
You're not
adjusting-
fully happy ever.
you're compromising somewhere. Or
Correct.
the other thing is, you see something which is great value on the platform when you go there, but by the time you get to cart, there is a handling fee, a platform fee, and another delivery
Yeah.
fee that gets added,
Yeah.
and you see suddenly, the cost
Correct.
is
Not worth it.
not worth it.
Yeah.
So we say we are anti-adjustment. We are anti-compromise
Okay.
as a company. You don't need to settle for trends. You don't need to settle for price. You don't need to settle for quality,
Yeah.
and definitely not settle for these hidden charges.
Okay.
So what you see, what you will get. Absolute transparent pricing. And that's why we don't have any delivery fee, any handling charges, any platform fee on the platform. So it's keeping it very simple for the customer. And this zero adjustment is the theme of our new campaign.
Transparency, basically.
Which is we are fighting this disease called adjustitis that has taken over India. And we've just started that with the launch of our sale, which is Zero Adjust Swag Sale.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I remember the Amir Khan ads were very popular
Right,
for Snapdeal, right? Any plans to get celebrities?
I think we are always evaluating. What we feel is there are different stages of a marketing journey of a company that you need different kinds of associated talent. So there was a time when Snapdeal did extremely well with the kind of marketing it did. Still, people remember it with a lot of those Amir Khan ads.
Yeah.
I think the market also is slightly different now.
Yeah.
I think celebrities have their own value. At the same time, the creator-led economy has scaled significantly now. And that is where we are investing a lot of our efforts right now. So the creator-led commerce, we have a lot of creator partnerships.
Okay.
Because we are also going into vernacular, into the smaller towns, where we see that the customers really trust people who look similar, but slightly more aspirational, and they can actually be like them.
Correct.
Which is something a lot of these local creators provide.
Fair.
Those partnerships are more meaningful to us at this stage of our journey in marketing.
Correct. And more user-generated content as well. So, for example, at Masters Union,
Right.
most of our content actually just comes from our students.
Right,
And when your
right.
customer is speaking about the brand, then that's the best kind of advocacy
Absolutely.
that you can have.
The other thing we started doing is to do some employee-generated content,
Okay.
which also to our surprise, got a lot of interesting traction. So people also love to see the people behind the platform that they're
Correct.
buying from,
Yes.
right? Like they should be human beings, right? Because everyone looks at, okay, there is a technology layer. I don't know who to talk to.
That's why all D2C brand founders are celebrities now,
Absolutely,
because
absolutely.
people
And I
need to
think that
know who they're
works.
buying from.
So we had people doing fashion shows, fashion parades. We had one of our employees actually doing a rap song. And I think it picked up really well with our customers.
Awesome. And one of the recent trends in even fashion e-commerce is the quick commerce, right? Like I know enough number of startups, well, I don't know it's become main scale yet or not, but who are trying these 30-minute delivery, will give you 4 pair of jeans, try which one you like, otherwise you return. What's your, I think, thinking around the quick commerce in the fashion space?
Right. I think quick commerce in general has been a true revolution, and I don't think there is any denying that it has transformed e-commerce in general.
Correct.
At the same time, we are always looking customer backwards rather than business model forward. So our customer, if I keep it very simply, they want extreme amount of variety.
Okay.
Quick commerce as a model works when you have a strong head SKUs.
Correct.
In any category you go. That's why, beauty, grocery, electronics, they work very well.
Correct.
Fashion is an extremely diverse category, right? And customer says, show me variety, then I will choose. And that's, I think, USP is not fully solved through a short delivery period through a dark store model that currently exists. Maybe there's another alternate version of faster commerce in that model, which is yet to be discovered. And we all keep innovating on figuring it out. The other thing is customers are very comfortable because they are seeking variety and right value. They're very comfortable waiting for 4 to 5 days. They don't think it is a long enough period. What is important for the value conscious customer is that the promised delivery time and the actual delivery time shouldn't be far apart.
Correct.
So if you meet the promise and the promise is done in the right way, then the customer is happy.
Yeah.
Right? So there are customers who are in far-flung parts of the country, and we serve 97% of the pin codes. They get orders in 14 days and they are extremely happy. In fact, their return rates are the best, the lowest, because they know that it will come in 14 days and I can't get access to this product otherwise because I don't have any
Correct.
offline.
And if I return
to
it,
go
then
to.
another 14 days to get the replacement, right?
Which is okay. But this is the only way for me to get access.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So there is an access problem that has been solved.
Yeah.
But of course, I think those things will also, as the logistics infrastructure matures,
Yeah.
14 will become 10 and become 7, become 5 at some point in time.
As you improve.
Exactly. So I think till the time customer is demanding something and really seeking something, we'll solve for that problem.
But there could be, and this is just a conversation, but there could be spaces or categories within fashion which
Yes.
probably the quick commerce could solve, and
Yeah.
probably the tier 1 metros or consumers like you and me will get used to.
Essentials, I think, works.
Okay.
Or basics works.
Yeah.
For example, you want to buy innerwear, you want to buy a white t-shirt,
Yeah.
a blue jeans. Again, categories or subcategories where you have very strong head SKUs,
Fair.
right? And they work well.
I'll
that
give you an
ways.
example, funny one. I was getting ready for a wedding that I had to go to, and I was wearing a pink lehenga, and I didn't have a matching earring.
Right.
So just blinking it on the go. And I was like, matching, don't care which one, just pink earrings, deliver right now. And probably those kind of things, right?
Correct.
But sometimes,
So that's an impulse need you had. But if you have to choose earrings, you will
then obviously not.
course,
It's more
want
impulse.
much more variety there.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Fair. Now, looking ahead, what can consumers expect from Snapdeal going forward?
I think for us, one, just to keep the business very simple. We are an asset-light business and an extremely honest, transparent pricing business for the customers. Continuously curate the best of the assortment and make sure we are personalizing the best experience. So we do a lot of investment in our tech, in our AI. And AI is, in fact, one of the things which has helped us really dial up these experiences on 3 fronts. One, what we'll see in the next 5 years is the operational enhancement of prediction of returns, prediction of fraud, prediction of the delivery times that I spoke about in different parts, connecting the seller to the buyer in the smart ways, also the right suggestions to the sellers on the kind of inventory which works for a certain customer cohort. This is where AI has already started unlocking a lot of value on the operation side of it.
Yeah.
The next big unlock that we see, and a lot of experiments already happening on that front, is the experiential AI, where customers will be able to see how it fits on them. They're able to experience that in a real environment and being able to also find matching products, complete the look, and so on and so forth.
Great.
And the third big unlock we see is conversational AI, right? Which again, I think has become very usual in the prompt world. But buying through conversational AI, and the underlying layer of that is semantic search, which a lot of players have already invested in, including ourselves. And we see a lot of headroom there, both in terms of text-based conversations and voice-based conversations.
Yeah.
So what you would see in the next few years, Snapdeal evolving, it has already started doing as a trend-first destination for the Bharat shoppers, solving for customer experiences using technology at scale, and also being able to provide, I think, value to a lot of small cohorts of shoppers in their own ways, versus only solving for large clusters.
Merchants. Yeah.
Right? So we are working very closely with a lot of our SME sellers, and every year I think we get 20 to 30% growth on our seller base. But I think the good part there is that our sellers are also adopting AI.
Well, that's
or 50% of our sellers and sellers that they have used AI in some part of their ecosystem already, right? Whether it is in cataloging, or it is in predicting which designs will work, or testing designs rather than waiting for the real test to come from the customer feedback. I think a lot of this has already started.
And how are they getting to know which tools, which softwares to use?
That's what I said, right? Awareness is no longer a problem.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, AI helps them answer that.
They'll just ask, which one should I?
You ask all the 3 or 4 models and they'll tell you.
They'll tell you.
So I think that is the real unlock, where sellers are themselves becoming smarter on how to sell online.
Awesome.
How to manage their returns, how to manage their P&L well online. And we are also enabling them through tools, a lot of tools like cataloging, enriching their catalog, updating their catalog, also adding tags so that it's easily searchable, things like those. So I think this is going to be a world where customer experience will again be dialed up to a very different level. And personalization would be of an order we haven't seen before.
Awesome. No, thank you, Achint. I think we learned a lot today about Snapdeal, and we are very excited to see what the future unfolds, and wishing you all the success. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.